I'm going to be talking about free schooling. A question I get quite often about homeschooling is how much does it cost? And that really varies by family. Some families spend hundreds of dollars per kid, and some families spend very little. A couple of years ago, I went to a homeschool convention, and one of the workshops was about homeschooling on a budget and for free. And I thought it was really interesting, took a lot of notes, and filed it away in my homeschool notebook and went about my homeschool career. And then the following year, my husband lost his job, right around the same time when I should have been buying homeschool curriculum, and there just wasn't money for it. So I pulled out my notes and started doing some research, and found that there are tons of resources around online and in our community, and it's very doable to homeschool for free or on a real tight budget. So the easiest way to homeschool for free is to use a free complete curriculum. Easy Peasy Homeschool is one where they have K or pre-K actually all the way through high school, and it's all of your subjects all on one website. You can log on, if your kid's in second grade, you can log on to Math 2, Science 2, English 2, and do the curriculum that way, or you can customize it to whatever level they're on. If they're a little bit ahead in math, you can bump them up a level in math, or stay behind in reading, or whatever they need. You can suit it to what your child's abilities are. We've really enjoyed using that. It's very easy to use. There are also free Facebook groups that have a lot of support, and you can pick some other parents' brains on how they're using the program, and it's a really good program. The way that when we decided to homeschool for free, I took a little bit different approach. I like to write my own curriculums and come up with ideas, think outside the box a little bit. So I basically just took the list of subjects that Ohio requires that we teach, and searched online for what I could find for free. History, I used a program called Hubbard's Cupboard, and I will link all mine in the comments of the video so you can see the actual websites and things. But the history curriculum, we started early America, and all the way, right now we're about to start the Civil War, and it's a printable notebooking pages that the kids can fill out, and I'm using it we used it for second, third, fourth, and fifth grade is what we're going to be using it for. So the notebook pages are the same for every kid, and the ability level that I'm expecting them to write and fill those out is changing as he is progressing in his writing abilities. The curriculum comes with a book list so there's a notebook page on Paul Revere, and there's a list of books to read about Paul Revere. And we also found Liberty Kids and on Amazon Prime, and several different documentaries on YouTube and Netflix. There are Facebook groups for Netflix homeschooling, and I highly recommend joining those. I've got a lot of fun ideas to use with our curriculum, or on days when it's we just need a break and it'd be nice to watch a nice documentary. There are tons of free resources online for videos to watch for your kids. For science, I used They Made America from PBS, and I just took the list of inventors and made a book list from the library and a documentary list from Netflix, and ones we checked out from the library. And then that was going along the same thing that we were learning about with history. And then for art, I used the same time periods and found American artists that were from those time periods. And same thing, I got books from the library and videos from the library about those artists, and found tons of ideas on Pinterest on projects that we could do to kind of learn about their art. So the library is a huge resource as far as free schooling. You can do free schooling just based on just videos online, or documentaries and YouTube videos and things like that. But I like my kids to have either audiobooks that we're listening to and lots of books that they can actually read. So get to know your librarian. Your librarian will have tons of suggestions for you as far as once they get to know your kids, they'll know their interests, and they get to know their reading level and can suggest things for them. And I always let them know what we're studying in a month when we go to the library. I just give them a list of time periods and science subjects, and I usually get a whole stack of books just from what the librarian suggests. They also have a huge selection of documentaries. Don't be afraid to go to the adult documentary section. Obviously, you'll have to check for age-appropriate level on some things, but a solar system documentary from the adult section is perfectly good for any age. So take advantage of the whole library, not just the children's section. We also found complete curriculums at the library. The year we were free schooling, we used Story of the World audiobook from the library curriculum or circulation, and our librarian actually bought it for me to use. So that's if there's a book that you want to read, suggest it to the librarian. They are very happy to purchase new things for their collection, and they want people to use the library. So they want things that you want there. History of Us is another one that's more of like probably a high school level, but we've used it for little pieces, parts, and articles for my son to read, since his reading level is a little bit higher. But that was one that I actually used when I was in high school, and it's really good. So Story of the World and History of Us is actually at our library, and then I found several foreign language programs there at the library too. So those are things that you can just check out and use at your leisure and not have to pay a cent for. Pinterest. Keep in mind, as with anything on Pinterest, the point is not to create a perfect Pinterest life. It's just for ideas. And if you find an awesome art project and it kind of flops, I'm sure your kids still had fun. It's fine. I have a school board, and I have the board broken down by subject, and I just put my pins for the year in each board. So I have art projects that we're going to try to do, science experiments that we're going to try to do. A lot of those can be done with things you have around your house, and you can even search that to art projects with household items, science projects with kitchen items, and you're not spending a ton of extra money on beakers and test tubes. You can just use the baking soda and vinegar in your kitchen. Curriculum sales and Facebook classified groups. There are tons and tons of Facebook classified groups that you can find homeschool curriculum at a used price, and you just either have to drive to go pick it up or pay shipping. A lot of times there are even free things listed on there. Same thing, you just have to be willing to pick it up or pay shipping. And you can search by title and look for things, or by subject, and find things that you guys could use. Also, curriculum sales, those always have free tables, and I have found some really awesome finds on there. A lot of times I can pick up my manipulatives and flashcards and those extra fun things to do on the free table. But I've looked out and found I found a whole history curriculum one year, and I found a whole kindergarten phonics program with the readers one year. A lot of times people buy a curriculum and use it for their whole family, and either want to gift it to someone to be a blessing to another homeschool family, or it becomes outdated and there's a new version. The old version is still perfectly usable. It might just have to edit it for dates or things like that. But we have found a ton of things at the curriculum sales. Most of the curriculum that we use in our house used. Rainbow Resources website is where I have bought most of my new things. They have the best prices that I've found. Definitely shop around. And they have free shipping for if you spend a certain amount. But I'll link that one in my notes too, because it's a huge it's an awesome resource. That's one that pretty much every homeschooler will suggest. If you're free schooling and you're going to be printing things out, you need a good printer. That's one thing that we had to spend some money on. I did purchase one that takes toner instead of, and it only prints black and white, so we only print black and white things, and anything that we need to print in color, I put on a flash drive and take to the library to print. I buy 2 toner cartridges, and that lasts me for the whole calendar year usually. And you can buy those on Amazon for pretty inexpensively. Field trips is another awesome way that you can do things for free. Obviously, things like the zoo and the science center have either a membership that would save you a little bit of money, or discounted tickets on different days, but they do cost money. So if you're trying to do it for free, and you need to see some animals for your science, call a local farm. There are alpaca farms around. There are goat farms, dairy farms. We live in an area with lots of different options for that. There's also a couple different greenhouses, so you can learn about plants, or there's several different greenhouses that grow vegetables and lettuce all year round. We've been to those, and those are really interesting. And all of those was just a phone call or me organizing a tour, and we invited some of our friends to go with it, so it wasn't just our family. But those were free and very educational and very fun. And we even found on Pinterest there are field trip sheets. So the kids, I print them out, put them on a clipboard in the car, and when we're driving home from the field trip, the kids can write down some of their thoughts and things that they learned, or draw a little picture, depending on their age level. But field trips are definitely something that you can do either really cheap or for free. I hope you got something out of what I've shared, and feel free to reach out if you have any more questions. Our family has really had a lot of fun homeschooling for free and homeschooling on a budget. There are a lot of different things that we just have discovered that we might not have if we were using just a box curriculum. It does take a little bit more planning, but don't be intimidated. And if you need to homeschool on a budget, it's totally possible, and we have lots of resources for you guys to do so.